welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups, technology and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Shrikant coming to you live from India's startup capital, Bengaluru. Now, in the usual sense, we bring you a mix of the most important stories impacting unicorns, startups, technology. But for the last 2 days on our channel, the focus has been on the most respected investor in the world, Warren Buffett. And over the course of his exclusive interview with us, one very important statement that he made was on the IIT, or the Indian Institutes of Technology. He said that when he asked Bill Gates in 1991 that if he could hire from one institute globally, what would it be? He just said IIT. That's a huge endorsement coming not from one but from two respected billionaires, philanthropists and entrepreneurs. Over the next 20 minutes, we tell you what this endorsement means, and we also bring you ground reports from three important IITs: IIT Madras, IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi. But before all that, let's listen in to what Warren Buffett told Tanveer Gill about the IITs.
I think a lot is happening that's good, and I think that the potential for India is incredible. When I met Bill Gates in 1991, we were just talking, and I said, if you could only hire from one university in the world, which would it be? And just like that, he said IIT. I mean, and then the most valuable person at Berkshire, is Ajit Jain, and
who's India's pride.
Well, and then he's got a brother in Italy, in India. I mean, and I keep trying to bring him over. I wrote his parents, Ajit's parents, and I said, if you've got another one over there, send him to me.
Yeah.
I need him. I mean, it's astounding the number of brilliant people that I know from India. So I'd love to hire people. I would love to buy a business, but it has to be a big business to move the needle at Berkshire.
Can't ask for a bigger endorsement than that, and that too coming at a time when there's so much of scrutiny on the role of the IITs. What's the future of IITs, and are we really producing good engineers? But can't get bigger than that, and that's why perhaps the Indian government is also smiling ear to ear. Here's what Union HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar told us earlier in the day on what he makes of Warren Buffett's endorsement on IITs and the roadmap going forward in terms of also increasing participation of women, ensuring that more women engineers come out of the IITs.
Naturally, when the world leaders and particularly all eminent people trust in IITs, IITs has earned its reputation. And Bill Gates once famously also said, when he was asked, why you are recruiting so many Indian engineers, more than they required. So he said, I'm employing everybody because if I don't, they will start another Microsoft in Bengaluru. So that's credibility of our engineering. The IITs are definitely a quality mark in engineering, in logic, in mathematical abilities, modeling and everything. And therefore, they are in great demand. Now, last week only we had IIT Council meeting. We have decided to strengthen IITs further by infusing more money into IITs through Higher Education Finance Agency to create world's best research infrastructure and research labs. Because that is why best of the best talented youngsters go in foreign universities. We also decided to give Prime Minister's scholarship 60 to 75,000 rupees per month. It's huge for those talented innovators. And we have also decided that we will recruit IIT faculties by tapping all our best NRI talents and our Indian students studying abroad to bring them back. China did it successfully. We will also do it successfully. So best of the faculties with best of the freedom, best of the research opportunity, best of the consultancy and other freedoms, but still they will guide core students and they will take their teaching assignment. So there are various ways by which we are also increasing women's quota, because I found out that nearly 2,400 girl students qualified for entry into IITs after advanced JEE, cracking advanced JEE. But only 800 take admissions. So why this? So we will be increasing, if required, supernumerical strength for girls in certain branches and in certain institutes, so that more and more girl students also. They are today only 8% of the IIT lot. We want to make it 20% at least in next 3 years. So that's how we are watching and carefully planning for taking up further challenges. And IIT is in quest of quality improvement continuously. And their rankings also will go up. International rankings also will go up, because we are also creating conducive atmosphere and also addressing the issue of perception management.
So, if you're going to be addressing brain drain, and in fact, Warren Buffett spoke about the brain power of India, which unfortunately we keep losing to the developed world as in the form of brain drain. If you're going to bring them back as visiting faculty or full-time faculty, you can perhaps also invest in more IITs.
Yes, we are investing more in IITs and best of the institutes and research.
And new IITs.
Yeah, and we have already started 6 new IITs. We'll complete them, their construction also very fast, but they have already started their academic courses. So faculty, more research labs, more research infrastructure, more scholarships, and best of the guides bringing from outside also. So we will create an environment where Indian students, best of the students will stay back here, do their research here. And under the Global Research Interactive Network program, we are also allowing them access of the foreign's best university or lab and a foreign guide also for 1 year during their research. So they can also go there, do quality things there, again come back, continue with the quality work here.
No better way to understand the IIT phenomenon without data. So we've put together data, numbers, names to really give you a sense of just why people are so enthused about the IITs. And the first graphic plate coming on your screen will tell you about the global names making it big on the global stage, who are alumni of the Indian Institutes of Technology. The first name on that list, Raghuram Rajan, former RBI governor, renowned economist, believe it or not, is an alumnus of IIT Delhi. So he started his career off as an engineer before doing management and then doing a doctoral in economics. So Raghuram Rajan is one of the famous alumni members of IIT Delhi. And since we are talking about Warren Buffett, we of course have to talk about Ajit Jain of Berkshire Hathaway, who is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur. A lot of people believe that Ajit Jain will be successor to Warren Buffett one day. We have to wait and see if that happens. But clearly Ajit Jain is someone who Warren Buffett regards a lot. Moving on from Ajit Jain to the world of tech, where Sundar Pichai, the CEO at Google, also an alumnus from IIT Kharagpur. Clearly IIT Kharagpur batting with two big global heavyweights there. Then you have Dinesh Paliwal of Harman International, an alumnus of IIT Roorkee. So that's another name, IIT Roorkee, also making it to the list. Fifth name on the list is someone very famous in Silicon Valley, Vinod Khosla of Khosla Ventures, funded many companies, serial entrepreneur. He is an alumnus of IIT Delhi. And we won't do our job if we don't tell you about the famous woman CEO on the list, also from an IIT. We are talking about Padma Shri Warrior, who remember was earlier with Cisco and who's now the CEO of NIO, which is an electric vehicle company. So these are some of the top guns as far as IIT is concerned, big names that have made it big on the global stage. But moving on from that, it's not just names on the global stage, but people across CXO levels who really draw from IIT. So we collated this data from Longhouse Consulting, which is a CareerNet company, and based on their data, we gather that IIT still continue to be the largest source of talent for business leaders. A study conducted by CareerNet Longhouse revealed that 50% of professionals in chief executive or strategic business leadership roles were either from the IITs or the IIMs or both, and these companies were chosen based on a number of parameters like revenue, sectors, branding activities, market cap, etc. So I guess the most potent combination is an IIT IIM, but in terms of the division of these CXOs from IIT, clearly IIT Delhi seems to top the list in terms of the CXOs picking, with 20% from IIT Delhi, 19% from IIT Chennai, 15% from IIT Bombay and 12% from IIT Kharagpur. So that gave you a breakup of the contribution as far as the various IITs are concerned for business leaders. But CareerNet also goes on to say that IIT Delhi also tops the rank of IITs across the country in being the highest number of producer of unicorn founders, including the likes of Flipkart, Zomato and Quikr, and that these unicorn founders have also been key in pulling alumni from IITs and other sectors. So that really gave you a sense of the IIT impact as far as Global Inc. is concerned. But because our show is Startup Central, we won't be doing our job if we don't tell you about the impact of IIT on startups. And for this, we collated data from Traction, and based on data from Traction, believe it or not, there are 3,392 active startups today with IIT alumni as founders. So that's a huge number coming from Traction. 3,392 is not a small number. Clearly, IITians playing a big role in fueling the startup ecosystem in India. And we are also going to bring you a list of the top 10, top 20 startups founded by IIT alumnus. So you have the likes of I'm just going to run this list by very fast because it has 20 names. So you obviously have the likes of Flipkart, who doesn't know the story of Sachin Bansal, Vinny Bansal, batchmates at IIT Delhi. You also have Snapdeal, where one of the co-founders, Rohit Bansal, is from IIT Delhi. Ola's Bhavish Agarwal is the famous product from IIT Bombay. You have Renew Power Ventures, Quikr, Delivery, Shopclues, Austro Energy, Zomato, InMobi, Continuum Wind Energy, Myntra, Grofers, BillDesk, W for Woman, Housing, MobiQuick, Savan, Fractal Analytics and Aryakan Network. So that's a long list of founders coming from IIT. And remember, most of the unicorns in India clearly have their origins in an IIT. So I mean, you might call it a privilege bias, you might, accuse them of snobbery sometimes, but I guess there are certainly some advantages in studying really hard for that IIT JEE entrance exam, making your way to an IIT, because that clearly seems to be the ticket to success and power, at least based on the data that we've got. But let's take it across then to some of the current students at various IIT campuses in the country. The data gave you a sense of the alumni of the past, but what about the present and the future? And for that, we have our reporters joining us from 3 key campuses of the IITs in India. I so wish we could accommodate all the other IITs, but we are going to make do with three key ones representing key 3 geographies in India. So we have Avan Dubash joining us from IIT Bombay. We have Ruchi Bhatia with students in IIT Delhi, and we have Shweta B with Dean and faculty members at IIT Madras. Avan, I'm going to come to you first. IIT Bombay is often, famous for fostering the Powai Valley culture. Take us through what students there make of this endorsement and what it means for IITians going forward.
Well, I'm at the prestigious IIT Bombay in Powai with a lot of students. Remember, this has been the breeding ground for some of the most inspirational leaders in our country and, of course, the future leaders of our country. So let's talk about what these statements of Warren Buffett means and how it really instills a sense of pride. And, I wanted to start off by asking you guys a little bit more if you could tell us about the IIT Bombay Powai Valley culture. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so first of all, coming to Mr. Warren Buffett's comment, we felt really great about it. Although IIT Bombay is a technical institute, we put in a lot of efforts in other directions as well, like entrepreneurship. We have entrepreneurship cell at IIT Bombay, and we'll definitely try to live up to their expectations.
Yeah, just to take off from that point, this program and this culture over here at IIT really fosters a sense of entrepreneurship. Can you just tell us a bit more about why that is so?
Yeah, so at IIT we have a well-established entrepreneurship cell by IIT Bombay. Using the cell, we have many initiatives running throughout the year. We have Eureka, which is Asia's largest business model competition, which have prizes worth INR 5 million at stake. Also, we have our global flagship event as Entrepreneurship Summit held in January, which have many prominent speakers like Amitabh Kant, Bibop G. Gresta, which is the chairman of Hyperloop Technologies. So these keep on motivating us and telling more knowledge about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that we students, we have classes from morning 9 to 5 and then we are totally free. So the amount of exposure to extracurriculars that we have here is just immense. So the thing is, we don't just put all our focus into studies, we are even leading in the extracurriculars. So coming to our culture, we are even late night people.
When Warren Buffett talks, the world pays attention, which is why when the man with the Midas touch said that his friend and investor Bill Gates said that if there's one place that he would hire from, that would be the IITs. It was of course a huge badge of honor for all of us, and which is why we are here. Startup Central is at the prestigious IIT Delhi, speaking not only to the students but also to the faculty members as to what they really make of the compliment that has come in from none other than Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Let's of course go across to the students and talk to them. What is it that the IITs do that the other institutions should perhaps focus on? And a lot of big names we've seen being passed out from IIT Delhi, the likes of Vinod Khosla, the likes of Nikesh Arora. Who are the people who really inspire you, people who've passed out from IIT Delhi?
Well, I believe that the best thing IIT does is the selection process. So it is the hardest institution to get into. And because of that, there's a culture of high performance in every IIT. So when you get into a fierce competition, you perform well in every sense. Even if I don't go into technology sector or in my core jobs, even if I go into entrepreneurship, I need to perform better than everyone else to be a successful entrepreneur. I learned that during my 4 years living in that competition.
Do you also believe the culture of high performance is what drives the IIT?
Yes, the high performance is also helping the IITs. Most probably that it's in IITs the EDC cell is there, that is Entrepreneurial Development Cell, which will help the students to get into the startups.
What is it that in your view stands out that IITs do that the other institutions don't?
It's a perception outside that we IITians only study. But it's not that. We have so many clubs here, like the EDC, we have Inactus, we have Economics Club, we have iGym. There are so many clubs, there are so many extra.
So it's a holistic development that we're talking about.
Yeah, it's.
We are always very proud whenever we hear great things about our alumnus, and this is an endorsement not only from Warren Buffett but also from Bill Gates, that IITs in general and IIT Madras specifically provides technological innovations as well as talent that is nothing but the best in the world. And over the last maybe 10-15 years, many of us, particularly at IIT Madras, we are trying to transform ourselves into an ecosystem which involves high-end research, development of the knowledge base of our students to a point where they become extremely employable, as well as create opportunities that did not exist before in the form of entrepreneurship, in the form of R&D, in the form of technology. And I believe that IIT Madras is leading the way in setting an example of becoming a technological innovation hub for the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That gave you a sense then of what's happening across IIT campuses in the country, IIT Madras, Bombay, Delhi. Clearly Buffett's endorsement, Gates' endorsement will perhaps inspire them to do a lot more right here in India and shrug off those accusations of brain drain that the IITs have endured over the years. With that then, we come to the end of this special edition of ET Now Startup Central. Thanks so much for watching.